What is up, everyone? Welcome to Here's Avenue. My name is Darren, and today we have a few things to talk about today. But before I get started, I'm going to let you guys know to follow us on Instagram at Heroes Avenue, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button right below. And if you guys see anything interesting throughout this video, definitely hit the comment button and let us know what you think. Alright, so without further ado, let's talk about the first topic of today. So the first thing I want to talk about is this small Ben Affleck story that you guys might have heard yesterday. Basically, Ben Affleck, he went on to Jimmy Kimmel to promote his recent project, and he had to break silence about this Batman fiasco all over the internet, right? So he had to confirm that he's not going to be Batman anymore. He even specifically said,
now I've read and I've seen announcements to the effect of that you will not be Batman again.
I am, yeah. I have decided. No, thank you very much. Yeah. You know, I tried to direct a version of it and worked with a really good screenwriter, but just kind of couldn't come up with a version that couldn't crack it. And so I thought it was like, you know, time to let someone else take a shot at it. They got some really good people. So.
But before we do this, is there anything you want to say? Any official statement you would like to make?
I don't know. I guess I'm not Batman.
There's your confirmation, guys. He is not Batman anymore. He's passing the torch. He's letting Matt Reeves direct it and find someone new. And that's where we leave off on this topic, because his excuse for leaving the role is actually confusing, and it conflicts with what we've heard in the past. Because his reason for leaving the role was because he couldn't crack the script, or he couldn't find the version he liked. But we do know that he was juiced about it. He was excited. Even on the set of Justice League, he gave us that really dope camera footage of Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke in the Foxcatcher, the carrier, or the carrier that, you know, the Batmobile was in on Justice League, you know, and he was pretty much teasing the fans that, hey, Deathstroke is going to be one of the villains in my movie. Get excited because I'm directing and I'm starring as Batman. And that blew a lot of our minds, right? And I think this whole excuse, you know, I couldn't find the script, or I couldn't crack it, is a total, you know, Warner Brothers PR move. And we've seen this before. You know, a lot of director states, they say, they give us like a red herring, or they give us like a stupid excuse, like when a director leaves a project, they normally say like they had creative differences, which is definitely not the case. There is definitely drama behind it, but for the sake of the media and the public, they're gonna just give us some mumbo jumbo, some bullshit answer, right? For all of us to feed into, and a lot of people will believe it, but the fans that are, you know, that are very close to these stories, they know the real truth. And I guess about half a year ago, Jay Oliva, this guy, he's worked with DC, he worked with a bunch of DC properties, and he tweeted back in August that about Affleck's script, and he basically said this, and this was a retweet reply to the Batman on Film account, and he said this: "Hi Bill, the original Affleck script was the best Batman script I've ever read. Ben had a kick-ass story, and I believe that the audience and fans would have loved it." And in response to that, Joe Manganiello even approved that tweet by replying to that tweet and leaving a check mark, basically confirming that, yeah, the script was dope, the script is awesome, something happened, right? And yeah, it's a huge bummer. And you know, this is not the first time that Warner Brothers has told a director to give this type of excuse. You know, back when Joss Whedon had the Batgirl project, you know, he eventually left, and this was after the fact we saw Justice League, and you know, due to the failure of Justice League, you know, pissed off a lot of the executives and Warner Brothers, and obviously Joss Whedon had a big role in that, and they were like, nope, you're out of here, you're not directing Batgirl, hell no. And Joss Whedon, he gave, you know, when he gave his official statement on the red carpet, he gave us a bullshit answer as well. He basically said this: "Batgirl is such an exciting project, and Warner Brothers and DC such collaborative and supportive partners, that it took me months to realize I really didn't have the story. I'm grateful to Jeff and Toby and everyone who was so welcoming when I arrived, and so understanding when I is there a sexier word than failed? Nah, bro, you got fired off that project. Shut the hell up. You got kicked out. They didn't like what you did on Justice League. You are out of here, because we all know that after Justice League failed, a bunch of people got fired. So, I mean, just Joss Whedon, he's one of them, right? So, it's not a surprise that that Ben Affleck gave us this stupid excuse, but you know, that is just a PR move. That's what they do. So, huge bummer. I know a lot of our followers or a lot of our subscribers still think that he is going to be Batman. Because, you know, Matt Reeves is going to cast a younger Batman, and then Ben Affleck could still be the older Batman in Justice League 2. I'm telling you guys, he's not coming back. But if you guys still have hope, hold on to that hope, because there's still that 1% chance that he could come back, you know. But I don't totally think he will, because we all know that Matt Reeves is gonna do a trilogy, right? And trilogies could be like 6 to 8 years long, and Ben Affleck's gonna be reaching 60 at that point, or somewhere like mid 50s, and I don't think he's gonna want to come back to play Batman. If anything, you know, Michael Keaton deserves to have that comeback, you know, instead of Ben Affleck. So. Yeah, you guys can hold on to that hope that Ben Affleck's going to come back as Batman, but I don't think he's going to come back at all. All right, so that leads me off to the next topic for today. Is going to be this Harley Quinn joining James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie. So last week we heard that you know, there was like a Forbes article that came out basically giving his opinion about who's not going to be in what project, and it was Mark Hughes, and Mark Hughes said that, you know, Harley Quinn is not going to be featured in Suicide Squad, and it made sense because, you know, James Gunn's role is to reboot that franchise, do a soft reboot, just get a whole new team, and that means not having Harley Quinn in there, and it doesn't make sense, right? To have her in there if you want a soft reboot, but yesterday, we just found out that Harley Quinn will indeed be in the Suicide Squad movie with James Gunn. And this is what Forbes said. I have learned from a source close to production that, in fact, the information about Harley Quinn being absent from the new Suicide Squad movie is no longer up to date. She is indeed expected to appear in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, which is expected to begin production later this year. And yeah, I'm actually surprised about this update, because, you know, Harley Quinn is getting a lot of screen time, you know, more than, you know, the Justice League members like you know, Flash, Cyborg, even more screen time than Henry Cavill probably. And it's a huge surprise to me, because DC and Warner Brothers, they're making Harley Quinn like the central of this whole universe, right? And that's not how it is. She's not the central character. Like, she's not the one that connects everyone. I don't see why they're making her that priority. I'm sure it has to do with, you know, Margot Robbie's like power play and all this, and, you know, she's being her own woman. You know, she's become like a producer. She's acting in her own film, and she's taking a lot of control. And I'm sure that has to do with it. But it doesn't feel right as a comic book fan. I just don't see her as that central character that connects all these universes together. Yeah, I don't know. It feels weird seeing Harley Quinn over and over across these other films, just connecting everything. But the big question is who else is James Gunn gonna cast in this Suicide Squad movie? Is it Bane? Is it Killer Frost? Who knows, right? And one thing I want to see is Joker as the main villain. Maybe the point of Harley Quinn coming back is because Jared Leto's Joker is going to be the main villain. Maybe that's it, because, you know, David Ayer, he missed his chance, and maybe this could be James Gunn's, you know, correcting his mistakes and making it what it should have been, and that's having Joker as the main villain, and Harley Quinn, you know, trying to run away from the Joker, and basically Joker just being a stalker boyfriend. And I think that'll be interesting. That'll be a really interesting dynamic. So I'm gonna pass the question to you guys. Who do you guys think the main villain of the Suicide Squad is gonna be? And are you guys excited to see Harley Quinn in more movies? Because she's gonna be in Birds of Prey. She's gonna be in, most likely, Gotham City Sirens. And she's gonna be in this new Suicide Squad movie. So in total, that's gonna be 4, because she was in the original Suicide Squad movie, right? So let me know in the comments below. So moving on, so we have this other story, this Marvel story with War Machine. So there's this Lego toy War Machine leak of War Machine being like a huge ass robot, or it was like a Megazord War Machine pretty much. And yeah, it was interesting because we're gonna see all these characters, all these new outfits, or these new suits in Endgame, but the Russo brothers have warned us recently that not to trust these toy leaks, and this is pretty much what they said. What's interesting about toy leaks is that 99% of the time they're not accurate, because toys are, frankly, tailored to either old concepts or completely different concepts than what's in the movie. And Russo explained, I laughed a lot when those toy leaks showed up, because I'm like, well, that's great, because that's a misdirect, because that has nothing to do with the film. So this War Machine toy leak and the leaks we've been seeing throughout time with this whole Avengers Endgame could either be reliable or not reliable to the source. And I definitely would want to see this gigantic War Machine like suit, the one that looks like a Megazord slash Hulkbuster suit. I think that would be really dope. I would really like to see that, because we never really seen War Machine have like a really significant suit change. And now that War Machine is one of the few Avengers left in in the beginning of Endgame, I think it'd be really tight to see a really cool upgrade for a suit. All right, so that's it for that story. That's a really short one. And the next story is going to be this Captain Marvel tracking number for her box office. So Captain Marvel is coming out March 8th, and it's predicted to make over 100+ opening weekend, and that's a huge because Wonder Woman, she actually made 103 million opening weekend. So I could see this movie making like 110 to 115, just because it has all the hype building up from Infinity War going into Endgame. So everyone's gonna see it, and plus it has that that Marvel stamp on there as well. And it has that huge reputation of like never failing and always pleasing the audience. So I can see it making 115, 120. I'm not that great with box office numbers, but that's where I see it. And since Wonder Woman is basically like the standard, I'm sure Captain Marvel is going to at least beat it as a first superhero female lead movie. And yeah, I mean, this whole Captain Marvel thing, I think the marketing of it, haven't really been pleased with it. It hasn't really grasped me. It hasn't grabbed my attention. I'm not really totally sucked in. I think this is one of the least movies I've been sucked into their marketing for a Marvel movie. I mean, I liked Ant-Man's marketing for the most part. I really liked how it kept advertising that Hello Kitty peg. I think that was really cool. But yeah, this Captain Marvel marketing has been kind of off for me. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of quotes of her, about about equality, feminism, but that's just quotes and interviews. It has nothing to do with the marketing. So I want to see more marketing as we get closer to the March 8th debut. And I really hope this movie is great, because I'm not convinced at this point. And it's going to be really interesting because, this might be I think this is going to be the first Marvel movie where the character is overpowered. She pretty much has like Super Saiyan powers, and it's going to be interesting on how Marvel approaches this, because usually the characters are really grounded. They're not that strong where, the villain you could overpower them and they would just have to fight, an uphill battle. So the Skrulls is definitely a great villain for Captain Marvel. So we'll see how Marvel approaches this type of character. I'm just excited to see what happens on March 8th. All right, so that's it for all the stories. So now I'm going to jump into the viewer comments for today. I only picked out 2, and the first one comes from Thug Life. Awesome name, by the way, and it was about the Michael B. Jordan becoming Superman. He says, Jordan could be a Superman from another Earth. DC is way complicated in multiverse thing. I still think Flashpoint. He can be Superman in a Flashpoint movie. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think that would definitely work. Flash would go back in time. When he comes back to time, or when he comes back to present day, I mean, Michael B. Jordan could be the new Superman. I think that would work, but the thing is, they're not doing a Flashpoint movie anymore. They totally scraped that idea, and yeah, it's not happening anymore. But I do want to see Michael B. Jordan play as the black version of Superman from Earth 23. I think that would be really cool. I think there's definitely potential there. But I still want to see that Man of Steel 2 movie. I still want to see Henry Cavill don the cape. You know, just because Ben Affleck's gone doesn't mean you have to be gone, Henry. So get Man of Steel 2 going and give us that Michael B. Jordan movie. I will still be pleased. But my priority is that Superman sequel. All right, the second comment of today is from a guy named Angie Forte, and he reads, I think it's stupid Warner Brothers has no idea what they're doing. They never did. It alludes all the way back to Superman, the movie, and Batman franchises, with corporate interference not allowing the filmmakers to fulfill their visions. Okay, so this one, I get what you're saying. I totally agree with what you're saying. I mean, Warner Brothers, I think there was a point where they didn't know what they were doing. I think that was with Justice League. I don't think they knew what they were doing at that point. But now I totally feel like since they hired Walter Hamada, that gave them some structure, some person to point to that has a bigger vision and has a control of what to do with these properties. I think that's their plan. I think hiring Walter Hamada, hiring someone that has the resume of balancing a universe and bringing them onto a DC universe, I think that's what they're doing now. And I think their vision is, hopefully with Shazam coming out, that will prove to us that their vision is on the right path. And I think they've said before they're not going to interfere with with directors' visions. We saw that with James Wan, and hopefully we're going to see that with David S. Sandberg. And for right now, we haven't heard anything. So they said it like last year. They're not going to interfere. They're not going to put their hand in the cookie jar anymore and mess with the director's creative choices anymore. So we're not going to have like that Snyder cut situation anymore, or give us this Sandberg cut of Shazam. That's not going to happen anymore because they're not going to interfere. So you have nothing to worry about. But I do feel like they have a plan now. I think they know what they're doing, and it's just for a matter of if we're gonna watch it or not. So I think most of us will watch it because we are fans and we can't help but watch these movies anyways. So we're just gonna be here for the ride. All right, so that's it for today. Let me know in the comments below about everything that you guys felt today about all these stories. So let me know in the comments below. Subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time.